Be prepared. Tomorrow isn't just another lunar phase. Something is building right now, a pressure you can probably already feel, and by tomorrow morning it's going to demand an answer from you. February 24th marks the first quarter, Moon in Gemini, and if you think that's just another cosmic checkpoint, you're missing what's really happening. This isn't a gentle nudge from the universe. This is a forced decision, a line in the sand, a moment where staying neutral is no longer an option. And here's what makes this different from every other first quarter moon you've experienced. This one is caught in the middle of the biggest astrological reset we've seen in decades. Just 4 days ago, Saturn and Neptune collided at the very beginning of Aries, the starting line of the entire zodiac. That conjunction happens once every 36 years, and it just dissolved the foundations of reality as we knew it. So, when the moon reaches its exact square to the sun tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning, you're not just being asked to make a choice. You're being forced to make one in a world where the old rules no longer apply, where the facts are foggy, and where the only compass you have left is something most people don't even trust: intuition. And if you've been feeling mentally scattered lately, like your thoughts are moving too fast but going nowhere, keep watching, because there's one specific reason why this is happening to you right now, and I'll explain it later. But first, you need to understand what a first quarter moon actually does, because most people have no idea. The first quarter moon isn't what you think it is. Most people treat lunar phases like background noise. They might glance at a calendar, notice the full moon, and move on. But the first quarter moon, that one barely registers. And that's exactly why so many people get blindsided by it. Here's what's really happening. The lunar cycle starts with the new moon, a dark, quiet moment of planting seeds, setting intentions, making silent promises to yourself. 7 days ago, on February 17th, we had a new moon, but it wasn't just any new moon. It was a solar eclipse in Aquarius at the very last degree of the sign, the anoretic degree that screams urgent change. That eclipse planted something in you, a desire, a decision, a path forward. Maybe you felt it consciously. Maybe it was just a whisper in the back of your mind. Either way, the seed was planted. And now, exactly 1 week later, that seed is hitting resistance. The first quarter moon is what astrologers call a crisis in action. It's the moment the sprout breaks through the soil and encounters the hard surface of reality. It's when your intentions meet their first real obstacle. And here's the brutal truth. Most seeds die at this stage. They run into resistance, doubt, fear, conflicting information, external pressure, and they stop growing. The person gives up. They decide it was just a passing idea. They tell themselves they'll try again later. But tomorrow, that's not an option, because this first quarter moon isn't just asking you to push through resistance. It's demanding it. And the 3 cosmic messages converging at this exact moment are going to make sure you can't ignore it. Message 1, the old world just collapsed and you're still looking for it. Let me take you back 4 days. February 20th, 2026. Saturn and Neptune, 2 of the slowest, heaviest planets in the sky, met at 0 degree Aries. That's the very first degree of the zodiac, the absolute starting line. Saturn is structure, borders, rules, time, authority. The hard edges of reality that tell you what's possible and what's not. Neptune is a dissolver, dreams, spirituality, illusion, the force that washes away boundaries and says nothing is permanent. When these two collide, something breaks. And when they collide at 0 degree Aries, the cosmic point of new beginnings, what breaks is everything old. The last time Saturn and Neptune met in Aries was 1702. Before that, 1365. this is not a regular transit. This is a civilizational reset. The structures, the systems, the belief, frameworks that held society together for decades, they just dissolved overnight. And here's where it gets personal. Your mind is still searching for the old rules. You're looking for the familiar patterns, the reliable authorities, the stable ground you used to stand on. But it's gone. The first quarter moon in. Gemini tomorrow is your mind frantically trying to gather data to make sense of a world that no longer follows a logic. It used to. Gemini is the sign of information, facts, analysis, communication. It wants to categorize, to compare, to create lists of pros and cons. But here's the problem. The data you're looking for doesn't exist yet. The maps are outdated. The experts are just as confused as everyone else. And your logical mind, that part of you that wants to figure this out rationally, is failing. That mental fog you've been feeling, that's not you losing your edge. That's your mind realizing the old operating system doesn't work anymore. And the decision being forced tomorrow can't be made using the tools that worked last month, because there's a second message arriving at the exact same time, and it's going to make things even more complicated. Message 2, your logic is officially compromised. And that's the point. Let's talk about Mercury. In astrology, Mercury is your rational mind, your ability to think, analyze, communicate, and process information. And right now, Mercury is struggling. Mercury is deep in Pisces, the sign of its greatest weakness. Pisces is water, dreams, intuition, the nonverbal, nonlinear realm where logic dissolves into feeling. And when Mercury enters Pisces, it's like trying to do advanced mathematics underwater. Everything becomes blurry, but it gets worse. On February 26th, just 2 days after tomorrow's first quarter moon, Mercury stations retrograde. That means it's moving at its absolute slowest speed. Right now, it's barely crawling through the sky. And when a planet stations, its energy intensifies. All of Mercury's usual functions, clear thinking, effective communication, reliable timelines, they're all breaking down. So let me paint the full picture for you. Tomorrow, you're being forced to make a decision. The first quarter moon is creating a crisis in action that demands you choose a path forward. But the planet that rules your ability to think clearly, gather facts, and communicate effectively, it's offline. You can't logic your way out of this. You can't make a spreadsheet. You can't wait for more information because the information isn't coming. Not yet. This is why you've been feeling that mental scatter I mentioned earlier. Your thoughts are moving fast, but they're not landing anywhere. You start analyzing one option and suddenly 3 more appear. You try to have a conversation to gain clarity and it ends in confusion. You wait for a sign and everything feels ambiguous. That's Mercury in Pisces stationing retrograde, refusing to give you the logical certainty you're craving. And here's the wild part. That's exactly what needs to happen, because the decision you're being forced to make tomorrow can't be made with logic. It has to be made with something deeper, something that doesn't show up on a pros and cons list, something the old version of you wouldn't have trusted. Intuition. The sun is in Pisces right now, squaring the moon in Gemini. That square, that 90 degrees angle of tension, is forcing a collision between your head and your heart, between what you think you should do and what you feel you need to do. And if you try to force logic where intuition is required, you're going to make the wrong choice. But there's a third message that's even more intense. And this one is about the truth you've been avoiding. Message 3, the truth you've been hiding is about to explode. Black Moon Lilith, if you've never heard of it, that's not surprising. Most mainstream astrology ignores it, but those who study the deeper layers, they Know Lilith is one of the most powerful points in the entire chart. Lilith represents the exiled self, the parts of you that don't fit, the truths you've suppressed because they made other people uncomfortable, the wild, untamed aspects of your identity that you've learned to hide in order to keep the peace. And right now, Lilith is in Sagittarius, the sign of truth, raw, unfiltered, sometimes brutal truth, the kind that can't be softened or negotiated. On February 25th, the day right after tomorrow's first quarter moon, the sun forms an exact square to Lilith. That means the decision you make tomorrow is infused with Lilith's energy. It's carrying the demand for radical authenticity. Let me be blunt. If you make a decision tomorrow that compromises who you really are, if you choose the safe option because it looks good on paper, or because it keeps everyone else happy, or because it avoids conflict, it will backfire. Lilith doesn't play that game. When you suppress your truth under Lilith transits, the pressure builds and eventually it erupts violently, messily, in ways you can't control. So the third message is this: the decision you're being forced to make tomorrow must honor the part of you that's been silenced. It must include the truth you've been too scared to speak. It must refuse to kowtow to outdated expectations or societal scripts that never fit you in the first place. This might mean saying no to something everyone expects you to say yes to. It might mean choosing a path that looks risky or unconventional. It might mean finally admitting what you actually want, even if it disrupts the status quo. And I know that's terrifying, because honoring your truth often comes with consequences. But here's what you need to understand. The consequences of not honoring it are far worse. When you silence yourself to keep the peace, you don't actually keep the peace. You just delay the explosion. And when it finally comes, it's bigger, messier, and more destructive than it ever needed to be. Tomorrow's decision is your chance to choose consciously to integrate your shadow, to stop pretending, to let the truth guide you, even if it's uncomfortable. The hidden meaning of drilling for oil. There's something I haven't told you yet, something that reveals exactly how to navigate this decision. In astrology, every degree of the zodiac has a symbolic image associated with it. These are called Sabian symbols, and they provide incredibly specific guidance for planetary placements. Tomorrow, the moon will be at 5 degrees and 54 minutes Gemini. When you round that up, you get the 6th degree of Gemini. And the Sabian symbol for that degree is striking. Workmen drilling for oil. Think about what that image means. Drilling for oil isn't easy. It's not about skimming the surface. It's about taking heavy machinery and plunging it deep into the earth, into the dark. Hidden layers, hoping to strike something valuable. And here's the thing. You don't know if you're going to find oil. You're taking a risk. You're making a calculated bet based on intuition, research, and faith. You're committing resources, time, energy, focus to something that might not pan out. But if you do strike oil, you tap into an incredible source of power, something ancient, pressurized, and potent, something that can fuel your entire life forward. This is the metaphor for tomorrow's decision. The easy choice is to stay on the surface, to keep analyzing, keep gathering more data, keep waiting for certainty. That's the shadow side of Gemini, flitting from option to option without ever committing. But the symbol is telling you go deeper, take the risk, drill into the uncomfortable question, excavate the buried truth, stop skimming, and start digging. Because the power you're looking for, the clarity, the direction, the breakthrough, it's not on the surface, it's underneath. And yes, it's scary. Yes, you might be wrong, but the alternative, staying stuck in indecision, endlessly circling the same mental loops, is far worse why your mind keeps spinning, and what to do about it. Remember when I said there was a specific reason you've been feeling mentally scattered? This is it. Gemini and Pisces are both mutable signs. That means they're adaptable, flexible, constantly shifting when planets form. Hard angles in mutable signs. The result isn't a head-on collision like you'd get with cardinal signs or stubborn standoff like you'd get with fixed signs. Instead, you get overwhelming options, constantly changing variables, a sense that every time you think you've made a decision, 3 new possibilities appear. It's like trying to grab water with your hands. Your moon is in Gemini tomorrow, demanding mental clarity. It wants facts, language, clear categories. It wants to know exactly what each option means and what the logical outcome will be. But your sun is in Pisces, operating on faith and feeling. It's saying stop analyzing and just feel into it. Trust the process. Surrender to the flow. These 2 energies are at war inside you, and that's why your mind keeps spinning. You're trying to use logic where intuition is required, and you're trying to use intuition where your mind demands concrete information. So what do? You synthesize. The decision you make tomorrow can't be purely logical, but it also can't be purely intuitive. It has to be both. You have to gather the information that's available, not wait for perfect information. Just use what you have, and then you have to feel into it. Which option makes your body relax? Which one creates a sense of expansion in your chest? Which one feels like truth even? If you can't explain why, that synthesis, that marriage of head and heart is how you navigate a Gemini. Pisces square. And tomorrow, it's not optional. It's required. The decision that's already made. You just don't know it yet. Here's something wild. The decision you're agonizing over on some level, you've already made it. There's a part of you deeper than your conscious mind, deeper than your fears and doubts, that already knows what needs to happen. It's been whispering to you for weeks, maybe longer. You've been ignoring it because it's inconvenient or scary, or because it doesn't make logical sense, but it's there. And tomorrow's first quarter moon is going to turn up the volume so loud that you can't ignore it anymore. Pay attention to the thoughts that won't leave you alone, the ideas that keep circling back no matter how many times you dismiss them, the urges that feel irrational but persistent. That's not random. That's your soul trying to guide you toward the path you're meant to take. And tomorrow the cosmic pressure is going to force you to listen, because here's the truth. You can't outsmart your destiny. You can delay it, resist it, argue with it, but eventually it will find you. And the longer you fight it, the harder the landing when you finally surrender. Tomorrow is your chance to choose, consciously, to step into the decision that's already been made on a soul level, but this time with awareness, with intention, with courage, the support you didn't know you had. I've been painting a pretty intense picture. Saturn, Neptune dissolving, reality, Mercury retrograde compromising, logic, Lilith demanding brutal honesty, a forced decision with no clear answers. It sounds overwhelming, and it is, but there's something I haven't told you yet, something that changes everything. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, protection, and blessings, is in Cancer right now, and in Cancer, Jupiter is exalted. That means it's operating at its highest frequency, its most benevolent expression. And here's the beautiful part. Jupiter is the ultimate ruler of his entire lunation. Both the moon in Gemini and the sun in Pisces answer to Jupiter. Traditionally, that means even though the surface level of tomorrow feels chaotic and uncertain, there's a massive force of grace. Underneath it all, Jupiter in Cancer is like a cosmic safety net. It's the promise that even when you can't see the path, even when you're being forced to. Choose in the dark. You're being held. You're being guided. And the outcome, no matter how messy the process, will ultimately serve your highest growth. This doesn't mean the decision is easy. It doesn't mean there won't be discomfort or risk, but it does mean you're not alone in this. There's a benevolent force at work ensuring that whatever you choose tomorrow, as long as it's authentic, will lead you toward greater emotional security, deeper self-trust, and soul-level fulfillment. So yes, take the leap, drill for oil, make the uncomfortable choice, trust your gut over your spreadsheet, speak the truth that's been buried, because Jupiter has your back. And when the dust settles, you're going to look back and realize this forced decision was actually a gift. What happens after you decide? Tomorrow morning, when the moon reaches its exact square to the sun at 7:30 in the morning, something will shift. You might not notice it immediately. It might be subtle at first, a quiet inner knowing, a sense of relief, a sudden clarity about what needs to happen next. But within days, the effects will become undeniable, because just 3 days after this first quarter moon on February 27th, Mars squares Uranus. That's the aspect of explosive action, sudden breaks, liberation, the severing of stagnant attachments. What that means is this: the decision you make tomorrow will set off a chain reaction. It will trigger events, conversations, and changes that happen faster than you expect. The mental clarity you couldn't find before. Tomorrow, it's going to arrive in flashes, sudden breakthroughs, unexpected opportunities, doors opening that you didn't even know existed. This is how the universe works during these massive transit windows. It forces you to make a choice when everything feels uncertain. And then once you commit, it floods you with synchronicities, support, and confirmation that you're on the right path. But only if you actually decide. Only if you refuse to stay stuck in indecision. Only if you're willing to drill deep, honor your truth, and trust your intuition over your fear. The final warning. What happens if you don't decide? I need to be honest with you about something. First quarter moons are called a crisis in action for a reason. They demand movement. And if you refuse to move, the universe will move you. If you try to stay neutral tomorrow, if you convince yourself you need more time, more information, more certainty, the decision will be made for you. And when the universe makes a decision, it's rarely gentle. You might lose the opportunity you were agonizing over. The person might make a choice without you. The window might close, and then you're left dealing with the consequences of inaction, which are often far more painful than the consequences of making the wrong choice. Because here's the thing, there is no perfect choice. There is no option that guarantees zero risk and maximum reward. Life doesn't work that way, especially not during a first quarter moon in the middle of a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. What matters is that you choose, that you commit, that you trust yourself enough to step forward even when you can't see the entire staircase. Tomorrow isn't about getting it right. It's about being decisive. It's about proving to yourself and to the universe that you're ready to move into this new era with courage, authenticity, and trust. Be prepared for what comes next. The energy building right now isn't just about tomorrow. It's about the next 6 months, the next year, the rest of your life, because the decision you make tomorrow, or the decision that's made for you if you don't choose, will set the trajectory for everything that comes next. It's a turning point, a fork in the road, a moment you look back on and realize that's when everything changed. So be prepared. Ground yourself. Tonight, get clear on what you actually want, not what you think you should want. Ask yourself the hard questions. Dig beneath the surface. Drill for oil. And tomorrow, when the pressure peaks, when the mental fog is thickest, when The old rules no longer apply and the new ones haven't been written yet. Trust yourself. Trust the whisper that won't go away. Trust the truth you've been afraid to speak. Trust that even in the uncertainty, even in the chaos, you are being guided towards something far greater than you can currently see, because you are, and the proof will arrive faster than you think. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.